Real hot girl shit. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body crazy, curvy, waist, big titties, little waist. Body crazy, curvy, waist, big titties, little waist. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. How I body that? Ate it up and gave it back. Yeah, you look good, but they still wanna know we're making it. Saucy like a barbecue, but you won't get your baby back. See me in that dress and he felt like he almost tasted that. Num 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 num, eat it up. Okay, okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest. You ain't never gotta heat me up. I'm present when I'm absent, speaking when I'm not there. All them bitches scary cats, I call them Carol Baskins. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. I'm a hot ebony, they gon' click it if it's me. All my feelings been getting these niggas through the quarantine. Bitch, I'm very well. All my shit as you could tell. Any hoe got big from years ago is beaten by herself. If we took a trip on the real creep tip, bitch, rule number 1 is don't repeat that shit. Rule number 2, if they all came with you, they better know exactly what the fuck they came to do. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. The category is body. Look at the way it's sitting. That ratio, so I control that waist, that ass, that titties. If I were me and I would see myself, I would have coffee drink. Took me home, did me long, ate it with the panties on. I could build a house with all the brick I got. They just spend a lifetime trying to get this high. And if her head's too big, I could make that pop. I'm not the one to play with, like a touch me now. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big titties, little waist. Body yaddy 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 yaddy. Yaddy 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 yaddy.